What's going on, everyone? This is Smitty here, and in this video talking about NBA Live 17 basically being pushed back to calendar year 2017. Saying early 2017 they're going to be dropping the console version, but they're dropping the mobile edition of their game this fall. Now, my thoughts on it aren't really bad. Like, honestly, when Live 14 came out, people were saying across the board how, they need to go back to the drawing board and they need to take a year off or whatever and take some time to make the game better. Here's the opportunity. I mean, this is basically they're essentially having a year and a half dev cycle to make this game. Now, what I would hope is that they're allocating resources across both games accordingly. Some are working on the mobile, some are working on the console version, and then once the mobile is released, have your guys support, have some guys support that, but then have a fully concentrated effort on the console game. Or at the same time, even one better, hopefully there were more resources put into both avenues, so that way both games are getting equal time with development, especially on the console front. Because I can definitely see why they why they did this, because the mobile game, I would assume, was pretty successful in terms of the turnout for people purchasing and playing that game versus the console title, which we all know had a very poor initial release with only moving 8,000 copies. So, the interesting thing here is that basically Live, it's as if they're doing a reverse of what they did this year. Because if you recall, Live 16 on console came out in the fall, and the mobile game came out in late February, I think, or early March, when it came out for the mobile title. So it's basically they're doing a role reversal, and they're going to have the mobile title drop in the fall and then the console title drop later on. So, I mean, we heard about some of the workings, and we seen like there was a guy doing mocap for the game and everything. So it still is up in the air, because we all know what happened with NBA Elite. There were cancellations and pushbacks, and then the game never had came out. So there's that historical hurdle to overcome. And now, with them pushing it back, the expectation, at least especially for me, it goes through the roof. It goes through the roof on NBA 2K, but that's a whole nother video. I'm not getting into that. I'm going to keep it on focus on Live here. But for Live, they have to bring it. And I'm not concerned about them eclipsing sales over 2K and all that. That's not my point. My point is that the quality of the title has to be bar none. It has to be hands down top-notch quality. No questions asked. I mean, the modes, the depth, the animations they have, the core gameplay, the atmosphere, the play calling, injuries being in the game, all of it. I mean, they have to have the whole nine. Coach game planning, all of it. They need to have a very tight and precise, clean packaged game when it comes out on consoles. Plain and simple. Like, flat out. They have to. Especially with the extra dev time. So I seriously hope that's what the situation is here, especially for the sake of the title. Because, I mean, the mobile game is a success. Many people are on that. But I would love to see the same thing happen with the console title as well. Because it is heavily slept on for the quality that Live 16 brings to the table. It brings some good basketball to the table that very few even acknowledge or recognize at all. So I want to see them truly expand upon that with NBA Live 17, and with this extra dev time, there's no excuse for them not to be able to deliver a crisp quality product with that time frame. So let me know your guys' thoughts, and I'll be back with more vids. Peace. Tune in every Thursday night for Sim Standard Radio, featuring myself, Sim F-Ball Critic, and Azure Effect. The call-in number is listed there on screen. and the link to our show is in the description below.